Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Andri Pamungkas, student number 20200130094, and my friend his name Priyandaru Putra Pratama, student number 20200130186. We are from class C, Mechanical Engineering Study Program, University of Muhammadiyah, Yogyakarta. In here, I will present the result of our discussion, namely the material about cars that will be explained by me. Cars. The car is a four-wheel land vehicle driven by a machine, usually using oil fuel such as gasoline or diesel to start the engine. The beginning of the history of the car in the world is a long process, because the car itself is a vehicle that consists of various components that support its operation. The story of the first car in the world began in 1769. A French scientist, Nicolas G. Cournot, created a three-wheel vehicle with a large enough body and driven by a steam engine. The work of Nicolas G. Cournot made other engineers interested and followed in his footsteps to make cars in the world, as was done by William Murdoch, who collaborated with James Watt from England in creating a similar steam engine vehicle in 1784. Until the end of the 9th century, steam engine vehicles continued to appear, even though the machine used often experienced problems because they explode. In addition, this machine has a quieter sound and does not produce thick, annoying smoke. Entering the mid-19th century, the development of cars in the world began to develop rapidly. At that time, scientists began designing a vehicle concept with other fuel-fueled engines. In 1860, a French engineer, Joseph E. Illinois, succeeded in making an engine with a mixture of coal and gas and atmospheric air. But in 1886, a German citizen had a car development in the world running on gasoline. The story of the discovery of the car in the world for the first time using gasoline is called Carl Benz. Meanwhile, Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach from Stuttgart also participated in developing cars in the world using this gasoline at almost the same time. In 1879, Carl Benz completed his discovery and it became history that the car in the world was first patent. A new invention, namely the world car with a two-stroke engine model, was finally patented to George B. Selden in 1895. History of the discovery of a car in the world for the first time with a spectacular engine model was also a breakthrough for Bertha Benz in 1888. In a period of several years, finally several models and types of cars in the world, namely steam power, like electricity and gasoline, experienced competition that yet the production of cars in the world at a large scale and at affordable price at that time in 1902 by Mobil grew rapidly. Then in 1910 it was further developed massively by Henry Ford. A few years after that, radio was introduced to cars, namely in the decade of 1920. Then, in the decade of 1940, a car with a four-wheel drive feature emerged. This feature allows the engine to move all four wheels of the car so that it can be used for terrain that has uneven ground condition. A few years after that, radio was introduced to cars, namely in the decade of 1920. Then in the decade of 1940, a car with a four-wheel drive feature emerged. This feature allowed the engine move all four wheels of the car so that it can be used for terrain that has uneven ground condition. Then in the 1950s, there was a machine innovation with injection technology. This aims to mix the fuel with air before it is burned and cause the fuel to mix homogeneously so that the engine gets more power when compared to using a carburetor. In addition to injection technology, in 1956 a new technology was rediscovered, namely the catalytic converter prototype. This is a technology to filter the exhaust gas from the vehicle so that the exhaust gas that comes out of the exhaust is cleaner from harmful compounds. Understanding and how to work carburetor engine. The carburetor is a component that functions to carburet gasoline into the air that will enter the combustion chamber. That is, this carburetor does not just put gasoline into the combustion chamber but also carburetes it. Fact is that carbureting is mixing gasoline into a number of air homogeneously. The purpose of this carbureting process is so that the gasoline molecules can be evenly distributed in the blown air in the intake manifold. The working principle of carburetor. The carburetor works on the principle of difference in pressure. As you know, liquid or gas will always flow to the area with a lower pressure. The process that occurs in the carburetor is the same. Gasoline can enter the intake manifold because the pressure in the tank manifold is less than in the gasoline storage chamber in the carburetor. In Bernoulli's law, which states that the pressure of a bulk sucks as air decreases. If the air moves faster in the intake manifold, there is air flowing into the engine cylinder space at varying speeds, depending on the gas opening. Of course, based on Bernoulli law, the air pressure in the intake manifold will decrease. So, even though in the gas storage chamber the same pressure as the atmospheric pressure, gasoline will still come out. This pressure difference will also be greater if the airflow in the intake is faster. So, when the engine is gassed at high RPM, the airflow in the intake will automatically decrease. The pressure in the intake will decrease, and the gasoline that will be sucked up due to the difference in pressure will increase. Definition of the FE system. FE is short for electronic fuel injection. If it means the FI system is a series of electronic fuel supply. This means that the fuel supply system from the tank to the combustion chamber is electronic based. How to EFI engine work? The working principle of the EFI system also uses a pressure difference, but this pressure difference is made higher, so that it will increase the pressure in the gas line. This will cause the gasoline to completely fog up. It is like a faucet. If you open the faucet with low water pressure, the water from the tap only flow. However, if the water pressure is high, the water that comes out of the faucet is like spraying so that it will separate its water molecule. Miss. Then we increase the gasoline pressure. This is the task of electric gas station. Electric gas station already work using an electric motor. Thus, its performance is no longer affected by engine RPM. This will make gasoline pressure more controllable and more stable, making it very suitable for injection system. Emission mechanism. When the ignition is on, the gas station will turn on, so that when the new ignition is on, the gasoline pressure has increased. But at this time, the injector hole is still tightly closed so that no gasoline spray gets into the tank manifold. When we turn the key to start position, the injector will open at a certain interval. Because the injector hole is small, plus the large gasoline pressure, this effect will put the gasoline into the main intake manifold and the exhaust gasoline will enter with the airflow into the combustion chamber. In the 1960s, cars were made with a more compact and functional design, and in 1974 technologies emerged that added safety for passengers, such as airbags and seat belts. Electric cars. An electric car is a vehicle that is full or partly driven by a motor using electricity in a battery. The battery is rechargeable. This car was very popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The development and innovation of the internal combustion engine, or ICE, led to the mass production of cheaper gasoline vehicles, leading to a decrease in the use of electric cars. The development of energy storage system technology, especially battery technology, has made the use of electric vehicles become popular lately. How an electric car works. In general, how an electric car works is as follows. 1. First, when the pedal on the car is pressed, then 2. The controller will take and regulate the electrical power from the traction battery and inverter. 3. With the setting of the controller, the inverter then sends a certain amount of electrical energy to the motor, or according to the depth of pressure on the pedal. 4. Electric traction motors convert electrical energy into mechanical energy, or rotation. 5. The rotation of the rotor on the motor will rotate the transmission so that the wheels rotate and the cars move. Electric cars in the last 10 years have always made inroads. Many electric cars makers are competing to introduce their electric cars so that they can be perfect. In fact, many brands around technology have started to enter the world of this electric car development. Electric cars themselves are predicted to be a very big progress in the future, because this electric car has many advantages, including 1. Reducing the impact of air pollution. 2. Can walk faster. 3. Produce no emission. 4. Cheaper and economical. 5. More smooth and comfortable. 6. Easier in maintenance. Many countries have also taken part in using this electric car, including China, the United States, Norway, Japan, England, France, Germany, and the Netherlands. This electric car is indeed a promising breakthrough because there are two fields involved, namely automotive and science and technology. Until now, there are still many innovations developed in cars. For example, the start-stop button, hill start assist on automatic transmission cars, electronic stability control, to the most advanced technology in today's cars, namely the semi-autonomous steering system. This system allows the car to run independently on the road with the help of sensor and radar to find objects around the car. Although the system can make the car run on its own, the role of the driver is still very important in the operation of this vehicle, but someday the role of the driver will be completely replaced by this smart system. Background: the material about cars, the very rapid development of cars in the world of automotive and science and technology. Electric cars that have been introduced to the world community. Electric car breakthrough from year to year. Conclusion from this matter: cars are indeed vehicles that are currently quite in demand, but apart from that, cars are also quite a contributor to pollution. Therefore, there are many breakthroughs in modern cars to reduce air pollution. This reference. Do you any question? Maybe this all I can say. Hopefully it's useful. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.